Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ, King of endless glory.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ, King of endless glory.
Seek good and not evil, so that you may live, and the Lord will be with you.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ, King of endless glory.
The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Lord, to you, Lord.
The disciples of John approached Jesus and said, "Why do we and the Pharisees fast much, but your disciples do not fast?" Jesus answered them, "Can the wedding guests mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? The days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they will fast." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Good morning. Today's readings are all about fasting. The prophet Isaiah tells us that there is fasting that is acceptable to God and fasting that is not acceptable. Essentially, it comes down to whether or not we are fasting because we seek to truly discipline the desires of the flesh and therefore grow in our intimacy with God. It's easy for us to approach fasting by doing the absolute minimum required by the church. In fact, most of us here, possibly all of us here, those over the age of 59, we're not even required to fast on Ash Wednesday or Good Friday. And no one is required to fast on the other days of Lent. Abstinence, yes. Fasting, no. Many of us have taken on small sacrifices during this penitential season as a form of fasting. But if you're anything like I used to be, you might take full advantage of the loopholes provided by the church to be able to indulge yourself on solemnities. Maybe you look forward all week to having that piece of chocolate or ice cream on Sunday because a solemnity is never a day of fasting. In years past, I would give up beer for Lent, but not on Sundays. This Lent, I'd like to encourage you to think about fasting a little differently. Rather than giving up your favorite sweet or alcoholic beverage, maybe you should give up something that you won't be thinking about indulging in on Sundays. Let me suggest a few things that I think are worthy to fast from. The first is idle conversation. If you talk just to talk, or if you get together with people just to fill a void in your life, then maybe you need to step back and assess, how is this helping you grow closer to God? What do you talk about? Do your conversations edify you or leave you empty? Do you run to God when you're lonely, or do you run to other people? Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with social activities with friends, but keep in check the things you talk about. Talk about the good you see in others, rather than criticizing them. Which brings me to the next item, gossip. There is a real danger in the gossip that we spread about others. The kicker is when we Christians talk about others' actions or words and then pretend it's it's not really gossip because we end with, we should pray for them. Or in Tennessee, as they would say, bless their hearts. No, it's still gossip. How about complaining? Yeah. It may seem strange to think, but it's absolutely possible to be addicted to self-pity. We get some kind of dopamine flood of satisfaction from people feeling sorry for us and knowing how difficult our situations are. Do you burden everyone else with your woes? Or do you run to God with your woes rather than to people? Here's one. Politics. We are in the midst of a highly contentious political environment right now. The disunity in our country between Democrats and Republicans is far greater than I've ever experienced in my lifetime. Now, rather than fueling the fire of this discontent, perhaps we should think about fasting from politics this Lent. Maybe we need to turn off CNN or Fox News or social media and spend the time we save in prayer. How about spending money? We don't need everything that we think we need, not even in the way of groceries. Clean out your pantry. Use the things that you've been avoiding. Remove Amazon from your home screen. Get creative. Fix something instead of replacing it. Try the library instead of buying a book. Use that shopping time to do something you know you are supposed to do, but you've been avoiding it. Take some of the money that you're not spending and give it to a worthy cause. And finally, declutter. Clean out your garage, your closet, your basement. Well, we don't have basements here in Florida. But for those of you who are visiting, you go home, clean out your basement. Declutter your kitchen counter, your yard, your bookshelves, and the things that you just have to keep picking up. Donate your excess to Nearly New or some other charitable organization. Question the value of your collections. Is what you have intentional, practical, or purposeful? Or is it just taking up space? Now, these are just a few ideas for fasting this Lent, and they're by no means conclusive. I'm sure you can come up with other things that you should be fasting from. The important thing is that we do something that denies our self-centered desires, thoughts, and actions. Commit yourself to some type of fasting this Lent.